Hello, everyone. This is William Armstrong here with a bit of a breaking news over VPNs. And Google VPN was caught overriding your Windows 11, Windows 10 DNS settings with its own. I'm going to read. Sorry if I snip a lot due to allergies and like that, but as more and more people become aware of dangers of the internet and all the prying eyes around VPN or virtual private networks have grown in popularity, as those users intend to encrypt and mask their browsing and surfing habits. Corporations, both large and small, have had taken note and offer VPN services bundled with previous products. But these can often lead to problems and annoyances as well. Recently, Brave stopped force installing its VPN services on Windows PCs when you installed its browsers. The fix was rolled out nearly 6 months after the issue was highlighted. Uh-oh. Hold on. Okay, as I'm going to continue, there's an ad that's playing at the top that's very annoying in the page. Disregard that. It's very annoying. But this is on NeoWin. It says here, now there are reports of Google's VPN services messing up the Windows DNS domain name service settings. Google introduced a VPN service as part of its Google One cloud subscription services back in 2020. And a couple of years later, in November of 2022, it was released to Windows and Mac as well. The problem seems to be twofold. First, Google One VPN is imposing its own DNS service over the one you already have on your Windows. And second, it also fails to revert back the changes it made to Windows DNS settings even if you disable it. Mac seems to be unaffected by this, and it seems to be the Windows exclusive bug. The bug was noticed by the GitHub user Mr. McMuffin, who opened an issue describing the problem. The user wrote, "This VPN breaks DNS functionality in Windows 11. It locks down the DNS or the system DNS Google DNS servers under the network settings. Even after a restart, closing the Google VPN app or disconnecting the DNS settings are stuck on a manual assignment. This is unacceptable. In order to use the Google One VPN, one needs to manually go into network settings and toggle back on the auto assignment. This is a serious issue. It happens on all Windows 11 computers. I've tested. Major issue. Please address when ETA to fix this will be done." Why is this a huge issue? If you use TLS or encrypted DNS, the Google 8.8.8.8 will break this configuration. I use encrypted DNS with ECH. With Google, none of this is available, putting my security at risk when the VPN is off. If you have custom DNS for work firewalls or family safety filtering, again, the VPN will break it. This was causing a huge headache for me, but I discovered the Google VPN has a huge bug with not resetting the DNS back into the state it was before turning on. Note that people are complaining about a problem that's not really a problem at all. The saying goes, if it ain't broke, then don't fix it. Although the issue notes that the problem happens on Windows 11, others on the thread chimed in to add that it's the same on Windows 10 too. Google One VPN is free as long as you have a Google One subscription. It's free, but all other VPN products require payment up front, fine, but things like that. It says a Google engineer, Ryan Lothian, responded to the thread earlier this year in January. The issue was opened back in November 2023, thinking the user would bring the issue to Google's attention and also explain what was happening. Lothian wrote, "Hey folks, thank you for reporting this behavior. To protect users' privacy, the Google One VPN deliberately sets DNS to use Google's DNS servers. This prevents a nefarious DNS server that might be set by DHCP compromising your privacy. Visit https://developers.google.com/speed/pub lac-dns/privacy to learn about the limited logging performed by Google DNS. We think this is a good default for most users, however. We do recognize that some users might want to have their own DNS or have their DNS revert when the VPN disconnects. We'll consider adding this to a future release of the app. While Google itself feels that it's a good default for most users to use Google's own DNS servers, the commenters in the GitHub thread have mostly expressed disapproval. The silver lining is that the company has said it will consider adding an option for users to use their own VPN DNS, but that was back in January and there's yet to be any update on it. For meantime, a user Bees34 was able to devise a way to work around this Google shenanigan using a PowerShell script. Run it elevated as a delayed schedule task, so when the Windows starts and Google One VPN starts, it has a minute and then runs the command to reset your network IPv4 and IPv6 adapters to default. Because make no mistake, every single interface alias is altered by Google here. Basically, the long story short is people are unhappy with the way that Google's doing that, but that is deliberate by design. But Google will add a feature to the shooter. I'm getting tongue stumbled. I'm stumbling on what I'm saying. Google will add a new feature to revert the DNS settings back to default, or have the custom DNS setting, or revert back to the default when the VPN disconnects. They'll add that feature to a future release of the app. But people are deliberately complaining about it when it's not an issue. Like, they're making a big fuss out of nothing when Google already says that this is by design. I have used Google One's VPN before because I have Google One through Metro by T-Mobile. It offers it through them, on them, with your subscription to Metro by T-Mobile, the cell phone provider. They give you Google One, which in turn gives you the Google One VPN included. Things like that. So I can use Google One VPN if I want to make it look like I'm coming from California, which it does make your IP address through the VPN appear as if you're living in California on the West Coast directly. Things like that. VPNs are cool and all, but the only complaint I've got with them is that some things about VPNs are that some tech services like Steam, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, Max, like all those streaming services can detect whether you're behind a VPN or not, and may not function correctly when you're behind a VPN. Valve clearly notes that in its terms of service that VPNs are not allowed to be used with Steam because Valve itself has programmed it to where Steam can detect if you're behind a VPN and issue a warning on your account when you do that. And Valve, they don't like VPNs themselves because it causes trouble when a person uses a VPN to access Steam to buy Steam games priced differently in another country, but while behind a VPN. So Valve clearly made it to where VPNs are not allowed on their network, on the Steam network. VPNs may come in handy for online gaming if you want to protect yourself against swatters or doxers that try to find where you live based on your IP address, even though your IP address will not I repeat, your IP address won't fully reveal where you live. It won't. Like, the IP address will reveal what town and city you're in and what country you're in, but it won't fully reveal it down to your address. It just reveals it to the city level. That's what it is. I've looked up my own IP address and stuff like that, and it reveals that I'm in the town I'm in, but it won't fully reveal where I am in the town. Just I'm in the city I'm in, and that's it. But thieves and criminals like doxers, swatters, those kind of trolls can do a little more extra legwork effort to really find where you live at. But I repeat, I don't condone swatters, like the trolls that do the swatting, doxing, and harassing. I don't condone any of that. And I don't condone them doing any of the bad things either, because most people who do swatting can face serious jail time and punishment by law enforcement for misuse of emergency services and SWAT team resources that have caused some swatters like Tyler Barris to face serious jail time for doing so. So this is William Armstrong signing out. See you next time. Bye-bye.